I've never truly and fully played through a Starfox game. I remember being young and popping in Starfox 64 into my uncle's N64 and not knowing what I was doing, but I was still in awe of what I was seeing. So about 2 years ago, I wondered why Starfox hasn't gotten a new game and why Fox McCloud is just left to be the guy from Smash Bros. I slowly went about collecting every one of the Starfox games. Yeah, even that one. So I'm here today to show you a bit of my gameplay and a brief review of each of the titles, to hopefully give those who are about to try the brand new Starfox remake for the Switch 2 as their first Starfox game, a little insight on the series. And yes, I can't believe I've been working on this video for so long that there's actually a new Starfox game coming.
It's reheated.
I kicked off my marathon with the game that really started the spark for this video, Starfox 64. But as you can see, I chose a real wackadoo order for the games in which I played. And in hindsight, I wish I hadn't done it this way. And you'll see why. Okay, Starfox 64. Woo! Why is bro floating in space? Okay. Loading up the game got me really excited and filled me with a nostalgia that was only half there. I honestly remember being young and wanting more games for my own N64, but not knowing what to play other than Snowboard Kids and Pokemon Stadium. Starfox 64 looked cool and slick, but I thought it was more for grown-up gamers, kind of like Majora's Mask. It looked like it was for kids, but you needed a better understanding of games, which I did not have, to really enjoy them. But getting a hang of the controls was something else. I eventually found my footing.
Okay, we have it in our seg. Fire, boom.
I understand now that there are multiple routes to take depending on what happens throughout the level, but I also have no idea how it procs. So does it just send us on a random trajectory, like we don't get to choose? Alright, well, whatever. I was genuinely enjoying myself so much, and maybe it was just the excitement of starting the challenge, but I actually finished an entire run all the way through to Andros. I was having some trouble knowing what parts to shoot or what even really to do in some levels, but the key was replaying the level and looking for the things that were obvious. Overall, I really enjoyed my first entry into the series, and what really stood out was the characters, the worlds, the atmosphere, and the music. After playing through a full run, I've grown to love the personalities of both Slippy and Falco, probably the most. Though I am excited to see if there's any more lore for these characters later on in the games to see how they relate with the Lylat system.
Great box is ready to go.
It's time for us to go now.
Nintendo presents Polygons. Up next was Starfox for the Super Nintendo. The process was the same. I was trying to get used to the controls. It had been maybe a couple months since my last recording, so I was a little rusty. Okay, Fox, let's see your real ability. I'm gonna fly through all the rings. Okay, whoa. I'm already failing. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna be honest, the controls are very touchy. Should I use D-pad? Oh, just slow down. Fox, slow down, buddy. You're going so fast. There's no possible way you're gonna be getting to these rings. So I was failing horribly until I understood the gameplay a little bit better. And I was trying to see where the game was gonna take me on the map. Woo! Woo! That took me so long. Stage clear. Do I get another life now, though? Dude, like, that would be nice, right? Oh, give me another ship for that, please. 81%. I will take it. I will take it in a heartbeat. Bonus credit. Is that a life? Do I get a life? Titania. Dude, if I'm doing the rest of this on 0 lives, this is going to be so difficult. At the time, which was May 2025, I was very much filled with the motivation still, and I was just feeling out the vibes. So I ended up playing the run through all the way to the end again. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Mario's rule of 3 means we do this 3 times, right? Oh, okay. Split them up into a bunch of pieces. Wait. Mario's rule of 3, it doesn't count here? Did I just win? Wait, is there going to be another boss? I'm with you, Fox. Yeah, let's do this, guys. Wait, I did it? Oh my gosh. From going from nothing to beating the game. The last levels were the standouts for me here. Flying along the retro futuristic highway, and I kind of felt like a bank robber from one of those heist movies, and all the baddies were the cops trying to stop me as I made my way to the finale, which was Andros. I loved hearing the original versions of the songs that I heard from the N64, and the gameplay was a little frustrating, but it felt easier than the N64 since you were just going back and forth and up and down and doing some barrel rolls in between, and not having to deal with the 3D space. Wait, so is Andros just a shape man? What the flip is this? Ah! How do you dodge that? For real. Game over! Is that Andros? It also clicked into my brain that the characters were truly original. They actually felt unique. Ah! Croak, help me! You got it, bro. I got you, Slippy. That's your name, right? Give me that. Ah! In the mid-90s or the 2000s, we had tons of anthropomorphic characters like, Jack and Dexter, Ratchet and Clank, and Spyro, as well as many, many, many cartoons like the Ninja Turtles or Darkwing Duck. But seeing the pixel sprites of these characters really had me feeling the vibe of the 90s. This one I'm definitely going back to in the future. Now moving forward, I skipped a game in the series and I went to Starfox Assault. I felt like Starfox Adventures had a lot of weight behind it. There's so many opinions I was seeing online that it, isn't a full rail shooter like the rest of the games, and I actually kind of just wanted to save it to last. Spoiler alert though, Starfox Assault was my favorite game out of all of them. Starting off the game, you are blasted with what the vibe should be when it comes to Starfox. The characters were flashy and the UI of the menus were super futuristic.
Well, Hux, looks like we're not too late. Yep, of course, General.
Getting sent into battle looked and felt amazing. And as soon as my ship was deployed, I realized how much I like the ship controls on the GameCube controller. I'd actually never really owned a GameCube as a kid, and even now I'm playing this through my Wii, but I really enjoyed the GameCube controller. I loved how much more advanced the worlds became thanks to the graphics, and the introduction of the asteroids felt natural. Our heroes have fought Andros and his many robotic-looking allies so many times, but this was something new and fresh. And it made it feel like an advancement and not just another rehashing. Also, I really loved moving back and forth between flight and on ground. That was awesome. It really made Fox feel like the rebellious hero. You get to dock your arm wing down, hop out and blast some fools. Just, kind of felt like Han Solo a little bit, I actually made it through the entirety of the game in one sitting in a singular afternoon, and genuinely they need an evolution of this game. Maybe add some RPG elements to it. They could have like a Mass Effect style game on their hands. 10 out of 10, no notes at all. I love this game and I will be playing it again.
We did it, Fox!
This point onward in this video, we're going to put an asterisk next to the word played. Because yes, I played and completed all the games before this point, but moving forward, I tried the games and genuinely, they couldn't hold up to the standard that has been set with Assault. And now we enter into the era of Nintendo's fascination with making their games incorporate their goofy mechanics of the systems they're on. So I popped in Starfox Command into my Capture Card 3DS and I started it up. And it looked cool, it felt cool, but honestly, the gameplay was not it. You control the game using the L and R triggers and the touchpad. I couldn't even get past the first level. You got like this movement phase, which made it feel kind of like Risk, you know, the board game. In each turn, you need to get a certain amount of cores to reach the boss before the enemies take out the Great Fox. But no matter which path I took, I couldn't take out enough enemies to get enough cores before they were taking out the Great Fox. Now, I will say the lore is extensive in this game, though. They give you a huge lore dump at the start of your save file. Even though I still don't know the origins of Crystal, it was cool to see how incorporated she became with the cast. I think in the future, I'd rather enjoy watching or reading all the possible endings and the bits of lore rather than playing it because, holy, the gameplay is frustrating. I was then sent way forward in the Nintendo hardware timeline to the Wii U, and I gave Starfox Zero a try. I was extremely excited to see the updated graphics and the controls. I wanted to see how much better the storytelling could be given that the Wii U has a much larger game size. But again, we are hit with the remake. Just as Star Fox 64 was kind of like a remake or retelling of Star Fox for the SNES, Zero was retelling of that story yet again. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that story or nothing wrong with retelling it, but the gameplay, again, was just not there. You see, this game uses the Wii U gamepad, and I can't fully capture the gameplay because the voice lines come out of the actual gamepad itself.
I'm fine. You okay over there, Fox?
You did it! That was a close one.
Alongside some additional visuals that don't show up on the TV version. And as an actual consumer, this would be okay, but as someone documented the gameplay, it just didn't show up correctly. As well, you needed to use precision aiming using the gyro on the Wii U gamepad, and the game cannot be played without it. And that was really disappointing. I didn't enjoy the aiming with the gamepad, but it was manageable. After completing the first level, I really wanted to see how much more different this game was than, Star Fox 64. But the controls were just too much. So I will continue playing this game in the future, maybe just on my own on the couch or something. The same goes for Star Fox Guard, the next game in the series. And you know what? In theory, I should love this game. It's a simple tower defense game which focuses on Slippy and his uncle. And actually, the game came packaged with Star Fox Zero. Now, I enjoy roguelikes and, games that are kind of like mini games, but the full game. Think of Balatro and stuff. So you would think that I would love this, but again, I am halted at the controls. You switch between different cameras to shoot down enemies, which, that would be fun and in turn can be challenging. But you have to use the touchpad on the gamepad to switch between the cameras. And it becomes just too overwhelming to keep control of the chaos as it envelops you. If you could swap between the cameras using L and R, I feel like I would have played even more of this game. But honestly, it felt like it just wasn't worth my time. So with most of the series, quote unquote, tested out, I felt like I really wouldn't need to play Star Fox 2. And it was actually only released on the SNES Classic, a small HDMI system that had preloaded games on it. I guess it was a canceled game, and I'm not really sure if it fits in here. And to be honest, I don't even know where the controllers are for this thing. So maybe that will be a future endeavor, but until then, I'm going to remain clueless on this one. Lastly, we head to the piece de resistance, Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube. There are so many opinions of this game online, and I needed to play it to form one for myself. Unlike other games in Fox's lineup, this game played like a true N64 adventure platformer style game. which has elements from a canceled N64 game called Dinosaur World, but I'm not going to dive deep into that rabbit hole because I've yet to do so myself. I haven't consumed any media on this game because I wanted to stay fresh. So after a couple hours of playing, I could see this game is like an action game, an adventure game, a collectathon, a platformer. It's got quirky characters and scaling mechanics which help you unlock your next areas. I made it decently far, but I feel like I can still form my opinion without having finished the game. It's a great game. I like how this whole game has felt like one of Fox's many side missions. He doesn't work for Corneria or Pepe's Federation or an army or whatever. He's a freelance gun for hire, right? And I imagine he has little pit stops like this in between the lull periods of having to save the galaxy. All right, so you go to Dinosaur Planet as Pepe warns you that it's slowly ripping apart. There's a bad guy who's trying to control the planet and is causing this. And Crystal, yes, I finally get to see where Crystal comes from, tries to save the planet but is captured and imprisoned, and Fox goes down to meet Tricky, and together they take over her quest to save the planet and in turn save Crystal. There is a lot happening in this game. Weapon power-ups, sidekick power-ups, scarabs, plant seeds, flying missions, platforming missions, and a lot of character. Wow. Oh my god.
She's beautiful.
This is so 90s coded.
Chrysoa spirit. But how do I get mine in there?
I will be finishing this game over time, and it might be a slow burn because as I'm editing this, I am actually picking up my copy of Starfox for the Switch. And I'm just too buzzed to not jump into it. For those of you who have played the game, I made it to... It's kind of hard to say where I made it to because, like, it's kind of confusing sometimes to where you're at in the game. Oh, I finished the spirit. I delivered a spirit. So if you know, you know. So, okay, so that's it for the Starfox games. Originally, this video was meant to be, I played all the Starfox games to see what went wrong, because in my eyes, there was no new game in sight. But now we have the Starfox team heading to the Switch. And yes, it's kind of like another remake, and it also incorporates a Nintendo console gimmick in the form of mouse controls, but I'm pretty sure it's not mandatory. I'm excited to dive into this retelling, and I'm hoping that it's successful enough that we could eventually see a more RPG-like game in the future. Something large and grandiose. But also, that doesn't need to happen. Star Fox can remain a simple rail shooter and still have its amazing music, funky characters, and I would still be happy. Okay, I'm a Star Fox fan now, and I hope you enjoyed the video regardless of what level of Star Fox fan you are, and hopefully I can reheat a video up faster than I have for this one.